Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Carl, and in my last video I said I would not do a solar installation video, but the trailer is almost done with what I'm calling phase one, which is basically the complete installation except for the solar panels. And while the trailer's torn up, I thought I might show you around, talk about a few of the points, give you an opportunity if you're an Imagine or a 2150 owner to see what some of the behind the walls look like, and talk about my approach and strategy as far as installation goes. So without further ado, let's go to the top of the roof. All right, as I mentioned before, I have not installed the solar panels, but what I have done is added a combiner box. So the concept there is that the solar panels wiring will come to that box, and from there there's a wire already attached and will lead down into the trailer. So what I did was, between the bedroom and the kitchen, there's a wall. This is the exhaust for the plumbing system for the kitchen. So I was able to trace from there over across to the appropriate distance and drill a hole through the roof and get to the space between the bedroom and the kitchen wall. So let's go in the kitchen and I'll show you that. We'll show you that what comes out. All right, so we are entering the trailer and it's torn up. We've got tools, electrical stuff everywhere. So here we go. So I mentioned before that this wall between the bedroom and the kitchen, there's a cavity there. So I was able to pull out the drawers and get access to that wall. So it was not easy, but over here you can see is the plumbing. So I knew that there was space there. I cut a little hole, which was not easy. Some wires back there. I was very cautious, and then before I put the hole in the roof, I actually took a picture from inside to make sure I didn't see any obstacles, any kind of cross boards or what have you, so that I could make sure there was space. But anyway, I dropped the wires down, and the first time I reached my hands up to find them, I couldn't find them, and I took another picture, and they were right there. So that was pretty exciting. Super easy. It worked out just as planned, and I'll position the camera here. But right behind here, I'm not sure if you can see it from this angle, but there's actually a hole in the subfloor that goes down into the subsystem. So I was able to run the wires there, and then it goes to the basement. So all right, while we're here, I've taken out, this is the RV fuse panel for AC and DC. I was able to pull that out. I've taken out the converter because I'm not going to need that in the new system. And if you go into behind the space, here is another hole in the floor that I was able to pull our wires. I pulled new wire for DC, a heavier gauge, and then I pulled 2 runs for electrical wires from here. So to pull AC to the basement and then bring AC back to the fuse panel. And I'm going to come around the other side. This is by the door, and let me turn some light on it. Here we go. There was a panel here I took out, which was actually difficult because this bottom bracket was not attached down. But I took out that faux piece of wood, and I created a combiner box. So that has the original AC from the back of the RV, electricity, attaches to the new line I pulled, which goes to the basement and will connect to the inverter. So let's go there. Actually, before we go to the basement, I'm going to go under the trailer and I'll show you how I got access to that underbelly. Ooh. This is fun stuff. All right, now I've crawled under the trailer, And this is right between the two tires, so right between the axles. Let me flip the camera around. All right, so little flashlight, but there's the wires coming down. And to get access, I've cut this underbelly. It's almost like cardboard, heavy cardboard, but I use a utility knife and cut a pretty sizable hole here. Gonna have to got some industrial strength tape. But then the underbelly frame, I think it's an aluminum frame, has a run on each side, and so there's big round circles that all these wires run through. So I use a piece of wood, a little quarter round molding to push the wires through, and it travels down to another spot here where you can see the wire run. And I have a plan to hopefully prop all these up, but yeah, it's quite a bit of wires I've added. But here's another section that I cut, and then from there you can go right into the basement. Here we go to the basement. Does that look like a work in progress type situation? So here's where the wires all come out. So this is the DC wire to run to the fuse panel. This is the solar panel positive. One of these will be electricity coming, one will be electricity AC going, and then this is the neutral for the negative for the solar panel. All right, and then from here the setup starts. So DC fuse box for the solar in, and then to the battery, charge converter. This is what I'm calling the bus bar positive. So from battery, which I forgot about that, I'm gonna have to go back and show you the batteries, to the fuse box, to a fuse that goes to the inverter, and then this line I ran to the existing wiring system that's in the trailer to electrify the tongue jack and the emergency brake. And then here's the inverter, which is like the piece de resistance for the entire process. Let me flip around to the other side and I'll show you what it looks like over there. All right, here's the other side, and the multiplex plus here, the inverter, and then the negative bus bar, and the Wi-Fi Bluetooth connection here. This is a 400 amp fuse from the batteries to the inverter. The smart shunt measures the temperature and usage of the batteries. And then this is the, I don't know what you call this, the control panel. I've taken that off, and I show you the DC coming over here that I've connected back to this wire, which goes back to the fuse, goes back to the jack and the emergency brake. And so you can see this here. Maybe this is a heavy AUX4 cable. Behind it there's I believe it's the 6 cable, and we whip around here to underneath the trailer. I've cut a hole on this side of the trailer and brought those down, and I've got a new ground set up for those, a new spot there to ground those two systems. So that is another hole where I'm going to have to fill in. So yep, I've got that going on. Anyway, let's get back up. We'll go back into the trailer and I'll show you the batteries. I got this idea. I had the idea of putting the batteries underneath the bed, and I got some feedback from Tom on the got some great feedback from Tom, and got his plans, and it was excellent. And so I stole his setup from him, and let me show you that now. By the way, we've got my wife overdid the mattress. It's a giant mattress and it's super heavy, so I've actually changed out one of the gas hinges, but not both of them. And I think I have another hinge I need to change out the original over here because it's too small. So yeah, let me get the light. Hang on. All right, now we've got light and we can see. So I don't know if you noticed with the inverter, but the inverters are very heavy, and I've centered that in the trailer, and then these batteries are mostly centered in the trailer. They're a little bit left. A little bit left because I was trying to be trying to save space for over here for some utility work. But yep, I have 4 batteries connected in parallel, negative here. And then I've got little wires, 2 little wires, one for battery monitoring, the other one's for power for the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi setup. Yep, so again, these are centered to keep the trailer leveled, and then I've got a switch here, an on-off switch, to terminate the power from the battery. So yeah, this is pretty good. I'm excited to still actually have some space for storage, because we are pack rats and take a lot of things with us. So there we go. I will say one thing about all this solar. The solar panels weigh a lot. The batteries are not lightweight. They're not feathers. And the inverter is heavy. So it's a lot of weight I'm adding to the trailer, and very little I'm taking out. But I have weighed the trailer, and the last time when I weighed it, the one time I weighed it, the trailer had about 6,000 pounds on the axles. And so I think that means, since it's rated for like around 7,300 pounds, I think that means I have a little weight that I can add. So hope that's correct. If that's not, if that doesn't sound right, then let me know. But yeah, pretty exciting. And today I'm going to connect the rest of the AC power, and then I'm going to be able to have a sit down with the company I bought this package from and do the programming. And we've got a camping trip coming up in 2 weeks, so got to get it all patched up and back together. And on our trip, I'm hoping to actually boondock one night, because I want to have this system working. So yeah, pretty excited, and it's definitely a work in progress. So hope that you got something from the video if you've lasted this long, and get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes, what it looks like. So anyway, if you've enjoyed it, please give me a subscription. It doesn't cost anything, and I would appreciate it. Peace.
Oopsies.
There's one head chopped off.
Really?
No, not anywhere near the door. How did we hook up before? Yeah, they're scared.